What is your first question?
So, sir, I'm Sandeep from second year.
Yeah.
So basically, nowadays journalism has become so volatile, and I mean, frankly to say, anyone who has camera and YouTube channel or something, who cannot be a profession or who can't, I mean, who didn't study the journalism also has become journalist. So in this part of scenario and in these circumstances, what is the role of an exact graduate from journalist? And
Well, this is a professional course.
Yeah.
Journalism is a profession. Just because you do the lawyer, you won't get the clients. Am I right? Just because you are a doctor, you will not get the patients. It's also similar. It's a professional course. Unless and until you have that professional skills, that professional acumen, nobody will recognize you. I'm sure I'll tell you, degree is essential. It's only an entry point. Ultimately, just because you got 95% in feature writing and editorial writing, somebody will not ask you to write an editorial. Am I right?
yes.
Assuming that there is a person who got 95% in cardiac surgery and he has never done any operation, will any patient go to him? So ultimately, this is a skill-based course, and you have to learn the skill. You have to master the skill. Then comes your next question, sir, what is the scenario? You're right. Anybody who has a smartphone, you don't need to have a camera also. If you have a smartphone, you are a journalist. And even if you don't have a smartphone, you can post something on the Facebook and still call yourself journalist. Well, now the government is in the process of regulating it and calling all those who write blogs, who comment on YouTube, they are calling them as digital news broadcasters. There is a new broadcast bill is on the anvil, and they are called the digital news broadcasters. Well, I don't know how far that regulation will be useful. Well, it is a volatile, you are right, but at the same time, there is a wonderful opportunity. When I joined journalism in 1983, like you as a student, there was hardly any opportunity for us. We were only having Deccan Chronicle to write, Indian Express, very little scope to write because Indian Express is a centralized newspaper and you can't write in every page there. There was no television, only Doordarshan. I still remember when Indira Gandhi was assassinated, Doordarshan crew came to Arts College of this building and they were asking for students to speak before the camera. Everybody was scared and they were hesitant. So I volunteered and spoke. That was my first television appearance when Indira Gandhi was assassinated. Well, subsequently I have come on television for hundreds and hundreds of hours. So this is a course where, this is a profession where you have unbelievable, mind-boggling opportunities. You can be very popular. It can be a very wonderful self-employment also. I have retired in 23 August, but still I work for 16 hours a day, reading, writing, speaking. You'll be surprised to know that I get more newspapers than the university library. I get 12 newspapers. Every day I subscribe to the print newspapers 12 and online another 10. I get all the business dailies and all the English dailies, Telugu dailies that come in Hyderabad. Apart from that, I subscribe to Telegraph, Statesman, Deccan, Tribune, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, Financial Times, New York Times, etc., etc. So that is how the world is. When you have the talent, you can create wonders. Your generation is fortunate to have that. But you need to have a passion. You need to have a passion to really do the work. So if that passion is there, there's no timings for that. For instance, I have an habit of watching the television just before I go to bed. Recently, sometime late in the night, around 12 o'clock, when I was watching television, there was a news that Yahya Sinwar, the Hamas chief, was killed in the Israel attack. So I had to wake up till 2 a.m., call my cameraman at 7 a.m. I have a TV program at 8 a.m. So between 7 and 7:30, I have recorded the program and went away. That should be the commitment. I don't work at 7 a.m. I don't work at 2 a.m. That doesn't work in journalism. You should have enormous passion. If you have a passion, creative economy, thanks to internet revolution, provides you unprecedented opportunity. You don't need to invest a single pie. You can earn ₹1 lakh every month very easily, provided you have that passion and hard work. More than the money, it gives you enormous recognition. As head of the department, Satish was introducing me. I won as a legislator in 2007 and 9 as an independent candidate, defeating all the political parties. Well, how was it possible? It was possible because I was articulating the public cause on television. At the time, even internet was not there. So, only thing is you have to have a tremendous passion, number one. Number two, you should have an agility to learn. You have to move from one goalpost to other. I was in print, I was into electronic, I was the editor of an English daily called the Hans India for 3 years. I was the editor-in-chief of HMTV. I was the founder chairman of 10 TV. And subsequently, when the television is giving way to the digital world of journalism, I started my own YouTube channel, and that's my story. My story can be your story. So I was also like a student sitting exactly in the place where you were sitting. Only difference is 40 years back. So I was also sitting like you, listening to the professors, listening to the same classes, same library, same students, same environment. But today what I am, because essentially the driving force, you should have it. If you have the driving force, this profession offers you something which no other profession offers you. It brings you recognition, it brings you popularity, it brings you satisfaction. Of course, it is financially very, very good incentive also these days. So that's the world of journalism waiting for you. It is up to you to catch it up. Yeah. Yeah, tell me. Yeah, tell, please.
Most of the mainstream media, whether it is print or electronic, it has become biased. See, maybe is that the main reason for the digital media to come up more and becoming more popular?
Well, even if it is not biased, it would have come up. It's a technological evolution, am I right? So, independent of whether it is biased or unbiased, the technology would have been there, number one. Number two, but you are still right. Why people are moving from television to digital? All studies reveal that the print media exposure is declining, readership for websites is coming down, television watching is also coming down. The only thing that is expanding is digital viewership. The reason for that is, well, whether it is biased or unbiased, technology would have come. But because of the biased character of the media, the credibility of the mainstream media is seriously under erosion and giving way to an opportunity for the digital media. That's number one. Number two, of course, there are other factors too. So, suppose you want to watch a television news bulletin. It is an half-an-hour bulletin. All the news items you may not be interested in. You may be interested in one or two things, but you have no option. You have to wait and watch for the entire half an hour. Am I right? You have to watch on the time when it was telecast. You can't watch at your own time. Whereas the digital is a video on demand. You can be selective. You can watch at your convenient time. Suppose my house is around 40 minutes from the university. What I do, I'll just start one or other TV channel. And by the time I reach home, one bulletin I watched it. So it saves my time. So that is the advantage of the digital world. So the convenience, the selectivity, the wide range of menu it offers, and it's a video on demand. I need not watch when it is telecast. I can watch at any time. Well, I posted a video on why gold prices are surging 3 days back. Well, you can watch it even today. You can watch it after 10 days also. You need not watch it whenever I posted the video. So that is an opportunity advantage. Well, certainly the biased character of the mainstream media is giving way to the audience flocking to the digital world. But that's certainly not the only reason. Yeah.
Sir, I have one more question, sir. I'm Suresh.
Yeah.
I'm second year student. So earlier we used to have BBC as a first source of information and the credible source of information. Later NDTV took that place. So now NDTV has been became entity of Adani Group. So what was the mistake do you think that Pranay Roy and Radhika Roy might have missed to keep it with them?
Well, that depends on the business. So it's not so easy to run a massive business set. I have not got into the details of where did Pranay Roy and Radhika Roy do the mistakes, because that requires a comprehensive study of profitability and of NDTV. Because the problem with the media, television or print is highly capital intensive. It needs a lot of recurring expenditure. How far it will be met through advertising revenue is something very difficult. I'll give you a simple example. If you want to start a Telugu television channel, for example, I'm not talking about NDTV whose cost is much higher, whose resource base is much higher. But even for a Telugu television channel, because I worked and I headed the TV channels, I was behind launching of new channels also. So you require at least 30 to 50 crores to set up a TV channel. So then you require at least a minimum of 1.5 to 2 crores per month. So you need to have around 20 crore per year. And if you do not get the 20 crore through advertising revenue, because whatever you pay for Tata Sky or pay for the cable fellow, that doesn't go to the television unless and until it is a pay channel. But very few news channels are pay channels, and that also how much really they're getting 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 3 rupees, 4 rupees, am I right? So that kind of a scenario, you need to finance your production essentially through advertisements. Well, the revenue, if it doesn't meet your expenses, you go bankrupt. So Adani can afford to run a channel because it is peanuts for him. A person who has 1,600 crores per day income, he can simply run any TV channel. Spending 500 crores or 100 crores, that's simply negligible for Adani. That is the reason Ambanis are coming into media. For them, media is not any other business activity where they can get money. For them, media is a source of political connectivity, is a source of social esteem, it is a means of aggrandizement. So the very purpose is different for them to run the media. Has Adani taken over NDTV for business? Absolutely not. Has Adani taken over NDTV to get money from it, out of it? Absolutely not. Whatever he spends, he just spends because that helps him to influence the people in power. So it's as simple as that. But a professional journalist finds it difficult. That's the reason even Pranay Roy entered the digital world. I'm sure you may be following Decoder. So he has also entered the digital world. So, and there is another a set of people who are entering the digital world because you get tied by the media, because you don't define, you don't decide the topic on which you want to speak. That is the reason why Ravish Kumar left NDTV the moment Adani took over. Today Ravish Kumar is Ravish Kumar, is more than NDTV now. His audience base is much higher than the NDTV perhaps. So that's the reason. Today in the world of journalism, person has become a brand. You don't watch Republic TV because it is Republic TV. You watch Republic TV because it is Arnab Goswami. Am I right? You watch India Today not because of India Today. You watch India Today for Radhip Sardesha, Rahul Kanwar or somebody else. So Pranay Roy was associated with NDTV. The moment he left, NDTV's viewership has plummeted. It has nosedived. So that's the new world of journalism, where the person as a brand. Yeah, next.
So, sir, just questioning this. So, in going forward, we can see the individuals, not the group of companies, right?
Well, it is extremely difficult to say that. When television came, people said obituary of newspaper. But newspapers are still surviving. And the digital world came, people started writing obituaries of TV channels. But TV channels are still there. So, similarly, individual driven digital space in media, You cannot write an obituary of the institutional media. Institutional media will survive and individual media survive. Only thing is, internet has democratized the world of media. Today, you and me can express. If this technology was not there, could you expect a professor of a university having a massive base of 1 million subscribers? How many people have million subscribers, you tell me? That too in the world of news and world of journalism, not in entertainment. You can have it in entertainment. Very few, and that too talking about international issues, economic issues, social issues, political issues, science, technology. I speak on a very wide range of topics. There are, if you can ask me any topic, you will find in my YouTube channel. Whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it is about startups, whether it is about Keynesian economics, whether it is quantitative easing, concepts like quantitative easing, whether it is Keshavananda Bharati verdict, you name anything. You will name anything, demography, science, technology, economy, politics, you name anything, you'll find it in my YouTube channel. That is an advantage I have. So I started by just standing before the camera, sitting before a white wall. Then the audience complained, "Sir, we are unable to see the white wall. It is very difficult for seeing the white wall always on the screen." Then I purchased a world map from Amazon for 300 rupees. Then pasted that world map at the back of the wall. Somebody started trolling me. "You have included Kashmir in China." How can I include? It's not, I have not printed that map, I have not created that map. I simply ordered from Amazon. Well, fine, I got irritated and removed that world map. Then had a grey color on the wall. So, well, I was sitting in my front room and doing recording. My wife was literally arrested. She can't come out, she can't go in. Then purchased an apartment and converted one master bedroom into a studio. Studio come, home theater come, office. Then it started when 2 people, 3 people start coming into a house and working. It was again difficult. Now I purchased I have taken another apartment just next to my house and and constructed a full-fledged studio in my house. It's a soundproof studio with around 5 to 6 lakh rupees. Any one of you, if you are interested, you can come and see the studio also. So now I have my office, I have my workplace. I don't call it an office because it's an extended house. It's not an office. So I work there. I record because I don't have no other program. My channel has only my programs. So therefore it can't be an office. It's my house, but an extended house where I have my own studio with proper soundproofing. Now the technology allows me to give live also. I give live also sitting in my studio because a simple camera or new version of any camera will have a Wi-Fi enabled cameras. So you can simply sit before the camera and start speaking, it will be telecast on the YouTube. So it's such a great technology. So earlier I had a Sony NX200 camera. Now I purchased a new camera, Sony Z90, which is Wi-Fi enabled. So I'll simply click the camera, I can go on live on my YouTube. So this is the simple technology available to you. And you can do it, I can do it. Well, you don't need to have a studio to begin with. You can have your own smartphone and have your own YouTube channel. You can have your own blog. You can continue to write. So the moment you have something to express, you can just record it and upload it. If you reach a particular level of 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, you can monetize your YouTube channel. You can start earning money also. So that is how the world is. Well, you can register with AdSense and have your own blog and get revenue also. Well, you can write for several digital sources. There is so much opportunity. At least the leading websites ask me to write every day. Unfortunately, I don't have time to write every day. When I first wrote my article for Indian Express, do you know how much I was paid? You'll be surprised. Can anyone guess how many rupees I got when I first wrote my article for Indian Express? 40 rupees. I just started my remuneration with 40 rupees. Now I get 7,000 per story. If I write one article, I get 7,000. You just type K. Nageshwar in print, you'll get dozens of my articles. Just type K. Nageshwar in first post, you'll get 100 articles which I've written, not one. So just type K. Nageshwar, you'll get hundreds of links where I have written. That is the world of technology. So sitting at home, you can be a journalist on your own. You can be a professional journalist on your own. Nothing less than any editor of a newspaper or a TV channel. That's the world which is before you. It's up to you to conquer it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So basically, in the practical world of media, everybody who has camera is a journalist now. So basically, on to that addition to the topic, I have a question that how the readers should perceive the news which everybody is writing. What is the official source that they are taking and considering for the readers? And while writers, as we are the professional journalists, how should we differ the writings from a normal every person who has a camera? And one more thing.
Yeah.
The addition to this, what should be the cause that a journalist should fight for? It should be the driving towards the development of the nation or development of a society. But today, the controlled media has taken the life of the people into a different extent. It can also change the dynamics of the elections as well. So basically,
Well, you're right. You have three questions. The first question is readers. What is authentic? Nothing like official. Official need not be the accurate version. There's nothing like official. Why should official means government source? You don't need to believe the government narrative always. That's not the essence of democracy. It is up to you to evolve as a reader when you read newspapers. I don't rely on, I'll tell you from my own point of view. Because I read too many newspapers, too many websites, I watch a lot of content. I'm a very big consumer of media content. Because when I'm a practitioner, I have to be a consumer also. So, but I don't rely on a particular newspaper, particular outlet, particular website. I go on reading. Over a period of time, you will develop a skill. By looking at the headline, you can definitely decide whether it is useful to you or not. And also looking at the author. For example, in the Hindu, you have a person called Stanley John. Do you read his articles? So read any article written by Stanley John on international affairs. He's a foreign affairs editor of the Hindu. Every article is well researched, well in-depth, gives you a comprehensive view. You'll get an understanding of that. So over a period of time, on every subject, you will get a in-detail understanding of the people. I just gave you one example. There are many other examples. You have economists like Imanshu, Jayati Ghosh, C.P. Chandrasekhar. You have political analysts like Sanjay Kumar. So these are people, the moment you read their name, this is what I am telling, what is Yogendra Yadav. So somebody may like someone else. Somebody may like Sapan Das Gupta. Somebody may like Kaushik Basu. Well, it depends. I also like Kaushik Basu's writing, but it depends. So don't get partisan while reading. When you read, you have to read everything. Don't read only one particular section. So but the only criteria how I read is, I don't go by the stand the author takes. I'll only go by the effectiveness with which the author presented his viewpoint. It can be any viewpoint. I don't mind. Because unless I am exposed to the multiple viewpoints, I cannot really arrive at my own viewpoint. Am I right? If I am exposed only to one set of ideas, well, that ideas will definitely distort my vision. So therefore, I read ideas of all kinds. But the criteria is well presented ideas. Whatever may be the stand. Suppose you take one nation, one election. Somebody may say it's a great idea. Somebody may say it's a disastrous idea. I read the both. You should also read the both. Only thing is, the person doesn't matter here. The way the person has presented his viewpoint. So that matters now. So well, I on the occasion of my YouTube channel reaching 1 million subscribers, I launched another program called Professor K. Nageshwar Public Lecture Series. Well, every week I take a topic I speak for an hour with a Q&A session followed for another hour. No multiple panelists. I only speak. So the first lecture we are launching on 26th of this month. This Saturday, all are welcome. You can also come at FAPKI Auditorium, Red Hills, Lakdi Kapul. So there it will be around 6 p.m. on 26th October on One Nation, One Election. So to speak in that public lecture, till now I read around 20 articles. 20 articles. I may read another 20, 30 more to formulate my opinion. So that is from the reader's perspective. Then from the journalist perspective, what are authentic sources? How do you, when you are confronted with all kinds of people around you who are semi-literate also at times, illiterate also many a time, how do you cope up with this kind of an inundation? How do you cope up with this, with massive inflow of writing, with no authenticity, with no accountability? Am I right? Well, that is where it is an opportunity for you. It is an opportunity for you because you can develop your own style, your own credibility. What I do as a writer is, unless I am convinced of an idea, I don't speak. Unless I am convinced of an argument, I will not comment. Unless I am convinced of the sufficiency of the material on which I can take a stand, I don't speak. I may speak a day later, but I will only speak when I have arrived at a reasonable conclusion on a particular topic. So that is how I maintain. So how do I take, well, I have to depend on authentic sources. If I am talking about a topic like secularism, yesterday Supreme Court said, commented on secularism. If I have to speak on that secularism, I go back to S.R. Bommai verdict, I go back to the Keshavananda Bharati verdict, I go back to the debates of the Constituent Assembly. Even today morning, I spoke, the video is yet to be uploaded, come here. So I spoke at length on secularism. I have written also earlier, if you just type Professor K. Nageshwar on constitutional perspective on secularism, in the Hans India, you will get a detailed article. More recently, I wrote in the Quint. Just type K. Nageshwar on secularism. In Quint, you will get it, a recent article of around 1500 words, quoting several Supreme Court judgments, Constituent Assembly debates, etc., etc. That is how you develop your own credibility and authority, authenticity, so that you can differ from others. If somebody reads your story or if somebody watches your video, they should get something more which they do not get anywhere. When I started my YouTube channel, I was doing a sort of pre-testing. It's called in market research, called pre-testing. When you launch a product, you test in the market, how will it be viable, will it work? When I started pre-testing, many advised me, why do you start a YouTube channel? It is very flimsy content, trivial content, absolutely entertainment driven. Who will watch your serious analysis? And I was asking a simple question. How much percentage will such people be? Then they said 99%. Then I smiled and said, well, you are left out 1%. No, I'll try with that. There are 1,000 people to compete for the 99% space. There is hardly anybody for the 1% space. So I started like that. On 2018 January, my viewership was 2.5 lakh. My subscribers were 1,000. Today my subscribers are 9,98,000. My monthly viewership is 1.5 crore to 2 crore. Can you believe me? With a time spent of 4.5 minutes on an average. So by now, I was looking at my data, 59 crore views I had till now, with nearly 1 crore likes only. On my YouTube channel, there are nearly 1 crore likes. Can you imagine? Thousands of comments. So that's the world you have. When I started in 2018, it was a very humble beginning. I was editor between 2014 and 17. Then I left the newspaper. Well, I was a professor also at that time. I was a professor in the morning, editor in the evening. So university allows that. We are we are officially allowed to pursue that, because that is how a professional will teach professional course. When I was doing professional work in the evenings and teaching the same thing in the morning. I used to write an article or editorial or take a call on the news content, and next day morning I come and speak in the class. Well, that's a wonderful in combination of theory and practice. So I was an editor in the evening and a professor in the morning. So that's how I was there for 3 years. Then when I left left my position as editor in 2017 October, I was wondering, still I am a professor, but the professor alone will not satisfy me. I am not satisfied with 4 idli. I need to have 10 idli. So I was thinking, where kya karna? Well, I was editor for 3 years. So I used to start my work at 7 a.m., watch the entire news content, guide all my reporters, sub-desk people, come to the department, teach here, go back at 3 p.m., have a lunch for half an hour, 1 hour, go to the newspaper office, come back around 9, still follow up till the first edition goes till 12. So this was my lifestyle work. So then after 3 years, I was getting bored. I was getting irritated. What should I do? Then I started my own YouTube channel. That's how I began my journey. So that's the reason why, if you have a perseverance, if you have a passion, you can you can have your own identity. You can have your own brand in the world of journalism. Yeah, I think I answered all your questions.
One more question, sir. As a student, as a professor, and as an MLC, and as a political analyst or a journalist running his own YouTube channel, from starting till date, how has your perception towards life changed? How has your perception towards society built?
Well, I don't think it has changed. I always believed that a journalist should be socially accountable. There is social activism in all my activities. Well, as you said, I was a journalist by training, teacher by profession, and I was a legislator by accident. So it was not intentional. It was accidental. University gave me leave. I wanted to experiment. In the first experiment, I defeated 56 candidates.
But you have become 5, sir, which is very much.
I have become twice, because when the Legislative Council was revived for the first time,
You got 2 years.
I got only 2-year terms, so that I had to contest again. So 2015, I did not contest. So the point I'm telling is, in every activity, what is the running theme? Running theme is journalism only. Running theme is public advocacy. Running theme is working, articulating on behalf of the society. I might articulate in a newspaper article, I might articulate on a television channel. Now I am articulating in a YouTube channel, I have articulated on the Legislative Council also. It was always an articulating a public cause, which was a running theme in all my activities. There is no deviation, there is no change. So my perception of society did not change. My perception of life did not change. Fortunately, life has given me enormous recognition also. If you come with me to Tarnaka, stand in Tarnaka Chaurasta for 1 hour, I can guarantee you 5 to 10 people will come and meet me. Is there any recognition more than this? I went to Niagara waterfalls few years ago. On the top of the Niagara waterfalls, 10 people came. 3 of them have taken selfies also. Standing on the Niagara waterfall, can anything be more thrilling and exciting than that? When you have so much and enormous recognition in society, would I have got this if I was an ordinary professor? It's simply not possible. However intellectual I may be, am I right? However academic I may be. That's the beauty of journalism. What I'm telling you is, that's the beauty of journalism. You will get everything you want in journalism. You will get everything you want, I'm telling you. You will get recognition, you will get popularity, you will get satisfaction, no retirement for that. You will never be retired, and you will never be tired also. So that is the advantage. When will I retire? I don't retire at all. Even if I am 90 years, I will continue to speak like this, provided my voice should be properly audible. So there is nothing wrong with it. So and it's an excitement all through. Journalism offers you a great opportunity to learn about new things. Recently, I have interviewed J.A. Chowdhury on startups, and when there was a Microsoft outage, I interviewed my own son. He's a senior manager in Google. So I was speaking to him. So when it was the college anniversary, I was speaking to Deshpati Srinivas on Nagodava, the college's poetry. So this is a beautiful opportunity you get. Where will you get it? So you speak from where? What is the link between college poetry, Nagodava, and artificial intelligence? There's nothing, but you still get an opportunity to speak and to talk to very wide range of people, interact with, and you'll get enormous recognition also. So the who's who of politics, society, business, media, film, everybody recognizes me today. What is the advantage? So that is the beauty of advantage. Well, you'll also have trolls.
Yes.
You'll also face death threats. You'll also face, there were death threats many a time to me. But I did not bother. నువ్వు యూనివర్సిటీకి వస్తే చంపేస్తాం రా అన్నారు. వచ్చినా కదా, ఇప్పటిదాకా ఉన్నా కదా. నన్ను ఎవరు చంపాడు? I believe only one thing, that you can die only once, am I right? You can't die multiple times. So a coward dies every day. But a courageous person will never die. So why should I be scared? Well, so there are all kinds of things. People call you, the Paytm batch of this man, that man. People attack you because that's the world. When you are in public life, obviously you are attacked. This is the country where the greatest personality like Sita was also trolled in Ramayana time. సో రామాయణ కాలంలో త్రేతాయుగంలోనే సీతమ్మ తల్లిని అనుమానించారే, ఇక నాగేశ్వరుని అనుమానించరా? వాట్ ఈస్ ఐఎమ్ వెరీ లిటిల్ మ్యాన్, ఐఎమ్ రైట్? సో యూ షుడ్ నాట్ గెట్ వరీడ్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. వెల్, దట్ ద పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్. వెన్ యూ ఆర్ పాపులర్, there are people to troll you. We leave it, let them get the sadistic pleasure by trolling me. Well, when you have 1 lakh people watching you, 99,999 people will be appreciating you. There will be one person who cannot bear that. Let him suffer. Why should I bother? Yeah.
ఇంత పాపులారిటీ వచ్చింది, ఇంత రికగ్నిషన్ వచ్చింది, మీరు ఏం మిస్ అవుతారు సార్ లైఫ్లో? ఐ మీన్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్
నేనే మిస్ కాలే, నా భార్య పిల్లలు మిస్ అయి ఉంటారు. నేనే మిస్ అయ్యాను, నాకేం మిస్ కాలే. నాకు అన్నీ వచ్చాయి ఏవి రావాలో. వెల్, పిల్లలు మిస్ అయ్యారు డెఫినెట్గా. I never attended a single parent meeting of my child. Never. ఇప్పటికీ my son and my daughter have a complaint on me. My son was telling, ఇప్పటికైనా రావచ్చు కదా నా గ్రాండ్ డాటర్తో ఎంజాయ్ చేయొచ్చు కదా. Why don't you come and enjoy with your granddaughter? అంటే I sent my wife, but I'm staying here. My wife is in Boston now, spending time joyfully with our granddaughter. Well, that is part of life. Even you want something, you will lose something, am I right? You can't get everything on that. You cannot have an egg and an omelette. You have to, if you want an omelette, you have to break the egg. Am I right? If you don't break the egg, you will not get omelette. So can you have both egg and omelette? You can, provided you have 2 eggs. But there cannot be 2 Nageshwar. There is only one Nageshwar, right? Then I cannot sit here and also sit in Boston. Well, you lose personal life to an extent because of the active public life. Fortunately, I have a very good wife who understands me, very good children who understand me and appreciate me. Well, if not one day, they will appreciate on another day also. Well, that's the beauty of that. I still remember my son was in 8th class. So that was not the time when YouTube was there. I was only popular on television at the time. My son always used to complain to his mother, "Naan eppudu raada, school day ku raadu, parent meeting raadu" అని అనేవాడు. One day he went with his friend to a hotel to have breakfast. ఇంట్లో ఎందుకు మదర్ లేకుండే నార్మల్లీ ఇంట్లోనే చేసి వెళ్తాడు. ఆ రోజు వెళ్ళాడు. ఇద్దరు ఫ్రెండ్స్ వెళ్ళి బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ చేస్తున్న టైంలో వాడి క్లాస్మేట్, అరే చూసావారా అంకుల్ ఫోటో వచ్చింది అని ఈయన న్యూస్ పేపర్, దట్ వాజ్ మై ఫోటో. అవునా అని మావాడు చదువుతుంటే ఆ హోటల్ ఓనరు సీట్ క్యాష్ కౌంటర్ నుంచి బయటకు వచ్చి, ఏంటి బాబు నువ్వు ప్రొఫెసర్ నాగేశ్వర్ కొడుకువా అన్నాడు. అవును అంటే, ఏం కావాలి బాబు అని పూర్తిగా టిఫిన్ పెట్టి ఎంత చెప్పినా బిల్ తీసుకోకుండా పంపించేశాడట. నీ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి బిల్ తీసుకుంటానా నాన్న వెళ్ళు అని. సో మై సన్ దెన్ అండర్స్టూడ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ది ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎ పబ్లిక్ లైఫ్. అప్పటిదాకా వాడు ఫీల్ అయ్యాడు పాపం. కానీ వెల్, మాకు ఉపయోగపడకపోయినా సమాజానికి ఉపయోగపడుతున్నాడు కదా. ఫైన్, దట్ ఈస్ ద లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్ యూ హ్యావ్. సో దట్ ఈస్ అన్ అడ్వాంటేజ్ యూ హ్యావ్. సో అందుకొరకు వీ విల్ సర్టన్లీ మిస్ సంథింగ్. Well, you don't need to do like me also. You can have a wonderful work-life balance also. I start my work, I wake up at 6:15. From 6:30 to 7:15, I do yoga. Then at 7:15, to 7:30, I take bath and get ready, and I go for a TV show between 8 and 9. Then come back and work until 8:30, 9:30. Now my wife is not there, so I'm working till 10 o'clock also. So I come home at 10 and watch television channels till 12, 1, then again sleep. This is my daily work even today, after retirement. So this is after retirement, underlined. Having a comfortable pension, absolutely no financial problem. I get over a 1 lakh pension from university and another 62,000 from Legislative Council as an ex-MLC. So I can simply, I have a full medical cover. Both my children are well settled. There's no need for me in terms of financial terms, I'm telling. But still I work because I don't work for money, I work for passion. I work for my own satisfaction. So it's not a money, there's no financial necessity for me to work. My son is well placed, he's working in Google. My daughter is well placed, she's working in Gurgaon in a leading company. So there's absolutely no reason why I should work. I can sleep for 8 hours a day, not 8 hours, 16 hours a day. But I will die early if I do that. So I cannot live for another 5-6 years if I do that. Well, now I live for another 20-30 years perhaps. I am now 60. I aspire to live more than 90 years. Yeah. Come on.
సార్ గతంలో మీ రాజకీయ తరగతి గదులు మరియు భౌతార్కిక బాధం వచ్చారు మీ 2015-16
నేను ఎప్పుడు చెప్పలేదు ఆ టాపిక్ మరి మీరు ఎట్లున్నారో
లేదు సార్
చెప్పండి మీ క్వశ్చన్ చెప్పండి.
చాలా రోజుల తర్వాత మళ్ళీ ఇలా కలవడం చాలా సంతోషంగా
నేను ఊహించలేదు ఇంతమంది వస్తారని కూడా ఊహించలేదు. ఎవరు వస్తలేరు క్లాసులకు అని చెప్పారే, బాగానే వచ్చారే. అంటే క్లాసులకు వస్తలేరు కానీ ఇప్పుడు వచ్చారంటారు. ఓకే, absolutely no problem. I would love to teach. I was telling Satish, this is the department which gave me everything in life. So no problem to come and teach here without taking single pie, without expecting anything. We will love to come and talk to you any day, any time. Because this is, I am associated with this department for 40 years, not a small thing. I joined this department at the age of 20 as a student and left this department at the age of 60 as a professor. So that is a 40-year association. Yeah.
Actually, many of us were disappointed, sir. While we joined our first year, you just got retired. That's very...
Well, that's a part of life. Obviously, I love teaching. I used to teach for hours together also. Because I love teaching. ఇక్కడ కారిడార్లో దొరికిన టీచ్ చేస్తుంటాను.
క్రికెట్ భాషలో చెప్పాలంటే యార్ కర్లింగ్లో మిస్ అయ్యాను.
ఎక్కడైనా నేను మీకు ఏబిఎన్ రాధాకృష్ణ ఓపెన్ టాక్ విత్ ఆర్కేలో ఉంటుంది. నన్ను అడిగితే అదే చెప్పాను, కారిడార్లో కూడా క్లాసులు చెప్తాను, లేకపోతే ఇంట్లో చెప్తాను నేను.
సార్ ఓపెన్ హార్ట్ విత్ ఆర్కేలైన మీరు ఇంటర్వ్యూ స్టార్ట్ చేశారు లాస్ట్ ఇయర్, కానీ మధ్యలో ఆపేశారు.
ఎవరు వస్తలేరు, ఏం చేయమంటారు. ఇప్పుడు కూడా రెడీ ఎవరైనా వస్తే, వాళ్ళు వస్తలేరు, మనం ఏం చేయలేం కదా. యా,
ప్రస్తుత సమాజంలో పడిపోతున్న జర్నలిస్ట్ విలువల్ని ఇప్పుడు కాపాడుకోవడం ఎలా? మళ్ళొకటి ప్రస్తుతం డిజిటల్ మీడియా అనేది ట్రెడిషనల్ మీడియాని ఓవర్కమ్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నది. ఎవరి దగ్గర అయితే యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్ ఉంటుందో, ఎవరి దగ్గర అయితే కెమెరా ఉంటుందో వాళ్ళు వాస్తవికంగా జర్నలిస్టులు అయిపోతున్నారు. యూట్యూబ్ వ్యూవర్స్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని న్యూస్ అనేది ఇస్తూ ఉన్నారు. మరి దాంట్లో ఎల్లో మీడియా కూడా ఉంది కదా, మనం ఎల్లో మీడియాని నమ్మేటప్పుడు
అంటే మీరు అడిగిన మొదటి ప్రశ్న, ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటి అది? వాట్ ఇస్ ద ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్? కెన్ రిపీట్? డిజిటల్ మీడియా కన్నా ముందు ఒకటి అడిగారు కదా. పడిపోతున్నాయి నాకు చెప్పండి, ఏ రంగంలో విలువలు పడిపోతున్నాయో చెప్పండి. విలువలు పలానా రంగంలో పడిపోతున్నాయని చెప్పగలరా? అన్ని రంగాల్లో విలువలు పడిపోతున్నాయి. లెట్ మీ టెల్ యూ, అన్ని రంగాల్లో విలువలు పడిపోతున్నాయి. రైట్, అన్ని రంగాలకు మదర్ లాంటి రాజకీయ రంగంలో పడిపోతున్నాయి. సో దెర్ ఈజ్ ఎ డిక్లైన్ ఎవ్రీవేర్. Don't worry about decline. Why do you worry about decline? Your age, you should not worry about negative things in life. Look at the positive things. ఏం విలువలు పతనం అవుతున్నాయి. ఇప్పుడు నేనేమి నా విలువలు నిలబెట్టుకున్నాను కదా. కెన్ ఎనీబడి టెల్ మీ దట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ సోల్డ్ అవుట్? ఎవరో ట్రోల్స్ అంటారు తప్ప ఎవ్రీబడి నోస్. ఇఫ్ ఐ వర్ సోల్డ్ అవుట్, ఐ వుడ్ హ్యావ్ బీన్ ఎ మెంబర్ ఆఫ్ పార్లమెంట్ 15 years ago. ఇప్పుడు కాదు. ఐ వుడ్ హ్యావ్ బీన్ ఎన్ MP 2008. సో did I bother when JP Nadda ji came to my house? People said, అయిపోయింది వీడు సోల్డ్ అవుట్ అన్నాడు. ఏమైంది? డిడ్ ఐ బికమ్ ఏ బీజేపీ లీడర్? చాలామంది అప్పుడు స్పెక్యులేట్ కూడా చేశారు, నేను బీజేపీ MP అవుతున్నాడు, అది ఇది నామినేట్ అవుతున్నాడు. అన్ని రకాల స్పెక్యులేషన్లు వచ్చాయి. ఎందుకంటే బీజేపీ ఆల్ ఇండియా ప్రెసిడెంట్ మా ఇంటికి రావడం అంటే సహజంగానే రీజన్, బట్ నథింగ్ హ్యాపెండ్ కదా. మళ్ళీ ఏమన్నారు, రేవంత్ రెడ్డి క్లోజు అన్నారు. ఏమైంది రేవంత్ రెడ్డి క్లోజ్ అయితే ఏమన్నా అయినా అప్పుడు? డిడ్ ఐ టేక్ ఎనీథింగ్? వెల్, frankly speaking, Revanth Reddy was my benchmate in the council. I know him intimately. Well, I know every politician intimately. Why Revanth Reddy alone? So, Revanth Reddy is not the only person I know. Well, I have interviewed Revanth Reddy, I have interviewed KTR. Both I have interviewed. I did not discriminate, am I right?
One video got viral, sir, where you are in the Maukna district meeting, you are consoling him while he is going against DK Arna.
And we are part of the district development and district DDRC meeting. Yeah. DDRC meeting, we were together. He was an MLA, I was an MLC. Well, for that matter, I know every politician in both the Telugu states intimately. That is the business of journalism, am I right? How can I analyze politics without having association with politicians? All party politicians visit my house on a regular basis. మా ఇంటికి రాని రాజకీయ పార్టీ నాయకులు లేడు. ఈ పార్టీ ఆ పార్టీ అని కాదు, ఎవ్రీ పార్టీ నాయకుడు మా ఇంటికి వచ్చి వెళ్ళాడు. ఏముంది, తప్పే ఉందల్లా? సో జర్నలిజం అంటే యూ హ్యావ్ టు బీ అసోసియేట్, బట్ దట్ డజంట్ మీన్ యూ విల్ బీ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్డ్ బై దెమ్ అండ్ దే డోంట్ కమ్ టు ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ మీ ఆల్సో. దే హ్యావ్ ఎ వెరీ గుడ్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఆఫ్ హూమ్ ఐ యామ్. అందువల్ల ఏ సమాజంలో ఏ రంగంలోనైనా విలువలు పోతుంటాయి. మన విలువలు మనం కాపాడుకోవాలి. ఒకటే థింగ్ ఏంటంటే వీ షుడ్ బీ ఇన్సులేటెడ్ from the process of this imminent decline of values in the society. That's number one. ఇక మీరు అడిగిన నెంబర్ 2 క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే డిజిటల్ ప్రపంచంలో ఏమంటగా నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. ఇప్పుడు రోడ్డు మీద కారు పోతుంది, బస్సు పోతుంది, స్కూటర్ పోతుంది, ఆటో పోతుంది, సైకిల్ పోతుంది. ఏది ఒకదాని ఒకటి ఓటో చేసుకుంటూ పోయిందా లేదా? మరి సైకిల్ ఇప్పటికి కూడా సైకిల్ ఉన్నాయా లేదా రోడ్డు మీద? స్కూటర్ ఉందా లేదా? కారు ఉందా లేదా? బస్సు ఉందా లేదా? మరి ఇంకా ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటండి? ఏదైనా కానివ్వండి, ఓవర్టేక్ అనేది దట్ ఈస్ అ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్, సర్వైవల్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫిట్టెస్ట్, am I right? సో when one transition, you should move with the transition. Well, that is how I have moved. నేను ఫస్ట్ రాసేటప్పుడు I used to write only for the print. టెలివిజన్ వచ్చింది 2003లో, 24-hour టెలివిజన్ వచ్చింది. There was a time when in 2004 election I was on TV9. Believe me, for 16 hours I was on the screen. Only commercial breaks అప్పుడు టీ తాగుతూ లంచ్ బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ డిన్నర్ చేసుకుంటున్నాను. 16 hours I was doing election analysis with Ravi Prakash and other anchors also. Most TV9లో ఏమైంది? Well, because newspaper నుంచి I transformed it to television. When internet came, I got into digital world. If tomorrow artificial intelligence, augmented reality, some other technology comes, I will be there also. Recently, I posted a podcast produced out of my article written for the Quint. Some of you might have seen, using the Google new product called Notebook LM. Have you seen Notebook LM? It's a wonderful product. You will be fascinated. Just type Notebook LM in Google, and if you upload an article or upload a PDF, upload a book, upload anything, it will convert that content into a 10-minute podcast. And you will be surprised. You can see also, now I have no time, but you can see, just type Notebook LM in Professor K. Nageshwar in YouTube. You will get that video, 20-minute video. First 8-9 minutes I have explained what it is. Then I have also attached the podcast produced out of my article. And that article I gave it in the description also. You can read the article and see the podcast. It's unbelievable accuracy. That's the world which is coming. This is an age where mediocrity will not survive. Let me tell you very clearly. This is an age where mediocrity will not survive. You should be excellent. You should attain higher levels of efficiency, higher levels of learning, and higher levels of competence and capability. If you are like any other person, well, AI will take over. Now AI is editing copies. If you read NDTV, you'll find it then. No NDTV person has edited it. It is a AI-generated story from the syndicate feed. They'll write it. You have AI anchors coming. AI voiceovers have come. You have a chat GPT which can translate for you. They will know your background also. It understands everything what you are. I don't know how many of you have used ChatGPT. If have you used Perplexity AI? So just if you use Perplexity AI, you want on any topic, you will get not just the links from the latest news articles written in newspapers and magazines, you'll also get a summary of that. So this is the age where artificial intelligence is invading the profession of journalism also. Unless you become very, very modern, very, very sophisticated, tech savvy, master the art, then you will not survive in this job market. Routine, mundane jobs will disappear. If not today, it will disappear after 5 years, after 3 years. Because you don't need men. When I said men and women, you don't need men and women to perform basic jobs, perform the mediocre jobs. That stage is gone. That stage is gone. You need to have higher levels of intelligence, higher levels of learning ability, higher levels of creativity, and of course, an agility to learn and an ability to use the technology. That is the world of journalism which you are going to see. నేను లేపట్లాగా నేను చిన్న పేర రాష్ట్రానికి అర్ధగంట తీసుకుంటా అంటే ఆ AI 1 minute రాసి పెడుతుంది. నువ్వెందుకండి ChatGPTకి వెళ్ళి రైట్ అన్ ఎస్సే ఆన్ ప్రొఫెసర్ కె నాగేశ్వర్ ఫర్ టైమ్ మ్యాగజైన్ రాయండి, నా గురించి 5,000 word ఆర్టికల్ రాసింది. నథింగ్. మై సన్ వెంట్ టు ChatGPT వెన్ ఇట్ వాస్ ఫస్ట్ లాంచ్. ఇంకా నేను అప్పటికి ఐ డి నాట్ ఈవెన్ యూజ్ ఇట్. రైట్ అన్ ఎస్సే ఫర్ ఆన్ ప్రొఫెసర్ కె నాగేశ్వర్ ఫర్ ఎకానమిస్ట్. Then it has written. My son asked, I am son of Professor K. Nageshwar. Then you know what ChatGPT replied? I am a machine. I cannot understand the human relationships. But if you are really his son, you should be proud of your father's accomplishments. That is what ChatGPT replied to my son. So that is how the world is. So it can understand your background also. Just you can go to ChatGPT and just simply type, write an essay on Professor K. Nageshwar for Time magazine, or for a feature page of or for India Today, or Outlook. It will write a beautiful essay. And 90% accuracy. Of course, there is inaccuracies also. I think over a period of time that will also go, because that's trained on a given data set. The difference between AI and normal intelligence is AI are machines trained on a given data set. If there are problems in the data set, then there will also be problems in the output. My granddaughter is just a year old. When she came to India a few months back, we were teaching her, Tali fan edi ante she used to see. Tali fan edi annappudu లేదు చూపెట్టాం. మేము చాలా సంతోషపడ్డాం. అబ్బా 1 year లోపల దీనికి ఫ్యాన్ అంటే తెలిసింది అని, గుర్తుపడుతుందని. అమెరికాకు పోయినాక కూడా ఫ్యాన్ ఏది అంటే పైకి చూస్తే అక్కడ ఫ్యాన్ లేదు. అమెరికాలో సీలింగ్ ఫ్యాన్ ఉండదు, కానీ పైకి చూస్తుంది. అప్పుడు మాకు అర్థమైంది ఇది ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్. అంటే ఫ్యాన్ ఏది అంటే ఫ్యాన్ గుర్తుపడతలేదు, ఫ్యాన్ ఏది అని కమాండ్ ఇస్తే పైకి చూడాలన్నది అర్థమైంది దానికి. షీ ఈజ్ నాట్ రికగ్నైజింగ్ ద ఆబ్జెక్ట్ దట్ దిస్ ఈజ్ ఫ్యాన్ అని. షీ ఈజ్ టూ యంగ్ టు రికగ్నైజ్ అన్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్, బట్ షీ ఈజ్ అన్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ టు రికగ్నైజ్ ఎ ప్యాటర్న్. వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ ప్యాటర్న్? తల్లి ఫ్యాన్ ఏది అంటే పైకి చూడాలి. నువ్వు ఇంకేదో ఏది పెన్ ఏది అంటే అది పైకి చూస్తలేదు, ఫ్యాన్ ఏది అంటే పైకి చూస్తుంది. అంటే ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ. సో షీ ఈజ్ ట్రైన్డ్ ఆన్ ఎ లార్జ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ డేటా సెట్. ఆ డేటా సెట్ మీద ట్రైన్ అయింది అది. సో లార్జ్ అది LLM లాంటిది అది కూడా. సో షీ ఈజ్ ట్రైన్డ్ ఆన్ ఎ డేటా సెట్. ఫ్యాన్ ఏది అంటే పైకి చూడాలి, ఫ్యాను ఏది పైకి చూడడం. సో షీ ఈజ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్డ్. సో ఆ ఏజ్లో షీ కెన్ పర్ఫార్మ్ నాట్ మోర్ దెన్ దాట్, but she cannot distinguish between a fan and a bike. So that is the technology. Artificial intelligence has its own limitations, but still I can tell you it will just invade our work. The World Economic Forum has produced a very good document on the future of work. The future of work is mediocre jobs will be taken away by technology. Yeah.
Sir, అమెరికాలోనూ కార్పొరేట్ కంపెనీస్ ఉన్నాయి, ఇక్కడ కార్పొరేట్ కంపెనీస్ ఉన్నాయి, కానీ అక్కడ మీడియా అనేది ఇండిపెండెంట్గా ఉండగలుగుతుంది. ఇండియాలో ఎందుకు అది అంటే ఇట్లా కార్పొరేటేషన్ అవ్వడానికి ఎక్కువ స్కోప్ జరుగుతుంది?
అంటే అక్కడ కూడా పూర్తిగా ఇండిపెండెంట్ అని చెప్పలేం. అక్కడ కూడా ఎన్ని న్యూస్ పేపర్లు రైఫల్ గన్ లాబీకి వ్యతిరేకంగా రాయగలుగుతుంది, ఎన్ని న్యూస్ పేపర్స్ పాలస్తీనియన్ రైట్స్ గురించి రాయగలుగుతుంది, Any newspapers, they write on they are the extended version of the foreign policy of America. Well, it's a very vibrant democracy. Governments still have a reasonable levels of accommodation. అంటే మనలాగా ఇంకా డీజనరేట్ కాలేప్పుడు దాని డీజనరేషన్ దానికి ఉంది, అది వేరే డీజనరేషన్. కానీ అట్లీస్ట్ దే బిలీవ్ ఇన్ ద ఫస్ట్ అమెండ్మెంట్ ద కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్, ఫ్రీ స్పీచ్, as enormous civil society support. Any attempt to tamper with or tinker with the free speech, the society reacts very widely. So they have a freedom only even to carry firearms. So in our country, if a freedom of expression is throttled upon, does the civil society react? So that is the problem with that. So the civil society చాలా స్ట్రాంగ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు, ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ చాలా స్ట్రాంగ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు, media cannot be manipulated. So Mandagara, what is happening is you have a political culture which doesn't want a dissent to appear. They do not understand that the dissent is integral to democracy. So obviously dissent is criminalized, dissent is vandalized, dissent is attacked upon. So but well, at the same time you have all kinds of diverse voices in Indian democracy also. Still people are critical. But there, I do agree that the large section which is still managed. Adanis could buy NDTV, but they could not buy Ravish Kumar. So Adanis could take over NDTV, but can they prevent the journalistic space which Ravish Kumar holds? They cannot. They could not also. So somebody may buy somebody. Can anybody take the journalistic space which Professor Nageshwar enjoys? Simply not possible. Somebody can remove me from a job of an editor, but they cannot remove me from a space in journalism which I hold. That is the democratic space which is available. How long will this freedom exist? We don't know. As long as it exists, you should enjoy it. Yeah.
Sir, what qualities makes a journalist student to reach to the level of Professor Nageshwar?
Well, why do you want to aspire to reach only my level? I am a very small man. Reach the highest level that is present at this point of time. Don't aspire to become Professor Nageshwar. Aspire to become million times better than Professor Nageshwar. As a teacher, I will be happy if you become million times better than me. I will not be happy if you become like me. Absolutely not at all happy. Well, I can't say the one quality is first have the passion. That is number one. Passionate tapana. Insatiable appetite. Tirani daham. Tirani akali. జిజ్ఞాస, నేర్చుకోవాలి, unbelievable, insatiable learning appetite. That is the number one. A journalist should have a learning appetite, insatiable learning appetite. అంటే ఎన్నటికీ తీరని నేర్చుకోవాలనే జిజ్ఞాస ఉండాలి. దట్ ఇస్ నెంబర్ వన్. నెంబర్ టూ, జర్నలిస్ట్ షుడ్ డెవలప్ లాంగ్వేజ్ స్కిల్స్ బోత్ ఇన్ తెలుగు అండ్ ఇంగ్లీష్. చాలామంది తెలుగు మీడియం వాళ్ళు కూడా ఉండుంటారు కదా ఇక్కడ, మాకు ఇంగ్లీష్ రాదు సార్ అంటారు. నేను కూడా మీలాగా తెలుగు మీడియం చదివినవాడిని. నేను తెలుగు మీడియంలో 7వ తరగతి దాకా చదువుకున్నా. అది కూడా ఆదిలాబాద్ జిల్లాలో, అది కూడా జిల్లా పరిషత్ హై స్కూల్లో. ప్రభుత్వ పాఠశాలలో అసలు ఉమ్మడి ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లోనే అత్యంత వెనుకబడిన ఆదిలాబాద్ జిల్లా విద్యాపరంగా, అవునా కదా? మరి నేను వచ్చాను కదా ఇక్కడికి, మీరు హిందుస్థాన్ టైమ్స్ రాయగలిగాను. మీరు రాయడమే కాదు, జస్ట్ టైప్ కే నాగేశ్వర్ ఇన్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ టైమ్స్. ఐఎమ్ షూర్ యూ నో ఫైనాన్షియల్ టైమ్స్. ప్రపంచంలోనే టాప్ న్యూస్ పేపర్స్ ఏవి అంటే వాల్ స్ట్రీట్ జర్నల్, ఫైనాన్షియల్ టైమ్స్, బిజినెస్ డైలీస్. మీరు అమెరికా ప్రెసిడెంట్ కానీ, వరల్డ్ బ్యాంక్ చీఫ్ కానీ, IMF అధినేత కానీ, ఎవరైనా టాప్ కంపెనీస్ సత్య నాదెల్లా కానీ, సుందర్ పిచ్చయ్య కానీ వాల్ స్ట్రీట్ జర్నల్, ఫైనాన్షియల్ టైమ్స్ చదవకుండా ఉండలేరు. Just type K. Nageshwar in Financial Times. You will get John Reed, the Delhi Bureau Chief of Financial Times, quoting me. I am sitting in Hyderabad. John Reed sits in Delhi. He is the Chief of Bureau of the Financial Times, London. Well, how is it possible? It's possible if you have that kind of an ability. So you can type. I am not claiming. మీరు గూగుల్లో కూడా వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఇదంతా నేను చెప్పేది ఏముంది, K. Nageshwar in Financial Times అనండి. You'll find John Reed quoting me. So I'm giving you one example, and the reason it's all, how is it possible? You should have the article. అంటే తెలుగు మీడియం చదివిన వాడిని ఒక ఇంగ్లీష్ పేపర్కు ఎడిటర్ కావడమే కాదు, అన్ని ఇంగ్లీష్ పేపర్లో రాయగలిగాను, ఇంగ్లీష్ ఛానల్లో మాట్లాడగలిగాను. వెన్ ఐ కెన్ డూ ఇట్, యూ కెన్ ఆల్సో డూ ఇట్. దర్ నో డిఫరెన్స్ ఎట్ ఆల్. వెన్ సంబడి ఎల్స్ కెన్ డూ ఇట్, వై కాంట్ వీ డూ ఇట్? సో మీలాగానే డిగ్రీ ఇక్కడ జర్నలిజం వచ్చినప్పుడు ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడటానికి మొహమాటం. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఇంకా అదృష్టవంతులు. అప్పుడు చాలా ఆంగ్లో సాక్షన్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ఉండే ఇక్కడ. ఇంగ్లీష్ రాకపోతే మమ్మల్ని చిన్న చూపు చూస్తారు, మమ్మల్ని పిచ్చోళ్ళలాగా చేస్తారు. అప్పుడున్న పరిస్థితులు. సో శ్వాస అనుకుంటా తప్ప తెలుగులో వినబడకనే పోవసలు. డిపార్ట్మెంట్లో అంతా ఆ కారిడార్లు చూసినా, టీచర్లు చూసినా, పిల్లలు చూసినా మంచి కాన్వెంట్ ఇంగ్లీష్ తప్ప ఇంకేం ఉండేది కాదు. మేము ఊర్ల నుంచి వచ్చినాం, మా తెలుగే ఊర్లో తెలుగు. అట్లాంటి పొజిషన్ నుంచి 1 year తిరగకముందు వాళ్ళకే క్లాసులు చెప్పడం మొదలుపెట్టినాం. ఎందుకంటే లాంగ్వేజ్ ఒక్కటి రాదు, నేర్చుకున్నాం. లాంగ్వేజ్ నేర్చుకున్నాక కంటెంట్ వాళ్ళకనే ఎక్కవచ్చు, అది వేరే విషయం. సో దట్స్ హౌ. అందువల్ల డోంట్ గివ్ మీ దీస్ ఎక్స్క్యూజెస్. మేము ఊరు నుంచి వచ్చినాం సార్, మేము తెలుగు మీడియం చదువుకున్నాం సార్, మా ఎకనామిక్ మేము కూడా మీరు రేకుల ఇళ్ళలో పెరిగినాను. మా నాన్న ఆర్డినరీ స్కూల్ టీచర్, 4 పిల్లలం. ఏం మేము అంతకన్నా ఎక్కువ గొప్ప లైఫ్ నుంచి రాలేదు. ఇవాళ ఇప్పుడు తెల్లగా పుల్లగా ఉన్నామంటే చదువుకున్నాం కనుక్కున్నాం అంతే. అమ్మ నాన్న చదివించారు, కష్టపడ్డాం కనుక. ఏం చేశాను, చిన్న డిక్షనరీ ఉంటే డిక్షనరీ చదివేసేవాళ్ళం. ఏది ఉంటుంది తెలుగు ఎలా వచ్చు, తెలుగు కూడా చదివాళ్ళం. అలాగే లైబ్రరీలో కూర్చుంటే తెలుగు పెద్ద పెద్ద పుస్తకాలు చదివేవాళ్ళం. సో అందువల్ల ఒకటి లాంగ్వేజ్ స్కిల్స్ పెంచుకోండి, డెవలప్ ద లాంగ్వేజ్ స్కిల్. మీరు తెలుగులో జర్నలిస్ట్ కావాలన్నా ఇంగ్లీష్ రావాలండి. నో ఎక్స్క్యూజ్. ఇంగ్లీష్ ఈజ్ ద లాంగ్వేజ్ దట్ గివ్స్ యూ ఎన్ ఎంట్రీ ఇన్ టు ద వరల్డ్. ప్రపంచంలోకి ప్రవేశించాలి అంటే ఇంగ్లీష్ నేర్చుకోవాల్సిందే. నాకు అర్థం కాదు, 56 అక్షరాలు తెలుగు వచ్చినప్పుడు 26 అక్షరాలు ఇంగ్లీష్ రాదా? సమస్య ఏంటంటే తెలుగు కూడా రాదు మనకు, అదే అసలు ప్రాబ్లం. అది తెలుగు వచ్చిందని భ్రమపడుతుంటాం. తెలుగు వస్తే ఇంగ్లీష్ వస్తుంది, తెలుగు వస్తే ఇంగ్లీష్ వస్తుంది. నేను చెప్పేది అదే మీకు. ఖచ్చితంగా తెలుగు వస్తే ఇంగ్లీష్ వస్తుంది. లాంగ్వేజ్ స్కిల్స్ అది కష్టపడాలంతే. ఈవెన్ టుడే ఇఫ్ ఐ రీడ్ ఎ వర్డ్, న్యూ వర్డ్, I will not rest till I know the meaning of that word, even today. And the next step is, I will not rest till I use that word somewhere. అది మొదలు తెలుసుకోవాలి మీనింగ్, తర్వాత యూజ్ చేయాలి. అలా లాంగ్వేజ్ నేర్చుకోండి, అది రెండవది. మూడవది టెక్నాలజీ నేర్చుకోండి. బికాజ్ దిస్ వరల్డ్ ఇస్ డ్రివెన్ బై టెక్నాలజీ. ఇంకా ఎవరికైనా కంప్యూటర్ కంపోజింగ్ కూడా రాని వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు డిపార్ట్మెంట్ జర్నలిజంలో. ఆశ్చర్యం వేస్తుంది. మాకు కంపోజింగ్ రాదు సార్. ఏం రాకపోతే నేర్చుకోండి. ఎంతసేపు? ఐ టీచ్ యూ తెలుగు టైపింగ్ ఇన్ 15 minutes ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్. 15 minutesలో తెలుగు టైపింగ్ నేర్పుతాను. దట్ ఇస్ హౌ ఐ లెర్న్డ్. ఒకరోజు మా మేడంతో మాట్లాడుకుంటూ ఏముంది 15 నిమిషాలు నేర్చుకోవచ్చు అంటే, మా మేడం అన్నది, నువ్వు ఓవర్ యాక్షన్ ఎక్కువ ఉన్నది నీకు, నేను ఒప్పుకుంటాను నీకు చాలా తెలివి ఉన్నదని, కానీ తెలుగు టైపింగ్ ఎట్లా వస్తుంది అనుకుంటున్నావు అన్నది. అంటే ఎందుకు రాదు, 15 నిమిషాలు వస్తుందని. అప్పటి వరకు నాకు ఇంగ్లీష్ టైపింగే సరిగ్గా రాదు, నేను నేర్చుకోలే. ఐ నెవర్ వెంట్ టు టైప్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ బికాజ్ మై ఫాదర్ హ్యాడ్ ఎ రాంగ్ నోషన్. టైప్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ పోతున్నానా అంటే టైపిస్ట్ అవుతావురా అనేవాడు. ఆ రోజుల్లో టైపిస్ట్ కావడానికి పోయేవాళ్ళం, టైపిస్ట్ స్టెనోగ్రాఫర్ కావడానికి. సో నేర్చుకున్నాను. 15 minutes బయటికి వెళ్ళాను, ఓ ఫ్రెండ్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళాను, డిటిపి పక్కనే ఆపరేటర్ దగ్గరికి. తెలుగులో నేర్చుకున్నాను. ఇంటికి వచ్చి నా సిస్టంలో మా మేడం పేరు కొడుతూ, చూసావా నాకు తెలుగు రాదన్నావు కదా, 15 నిమిషాల్లో నేర్చుకుని చూపాను, నీకు కూడా నేర్పుతానని కొట్టేశాను. స్క్రీన్ పైన కొట్టాను. ఏముంది, లాతా దావా పానా రక్క బాడగట్ట మాయచా అని ఈ ఫింగర్ నేర్చుకుంటే వచ్చేస్తుంది. మీకు ఐ విల్ టీచ్ యూ ఇన్ 15 minutes. సో హ్యావ్ అట్లీస్ట్ ద బేసిక్ టెక్నాలజీ. ఇప్పుడు నేను మీకు గూగుల్ది ప్రోడక్ట్ చెప్పాను, నోట్బుక్ వెళ్ళామంటే మీకు తెలియకపోతే కలవది. ఇప్పుడు నేను 60 ఏళ్ళ వయసులో నేను తెలుసుకుంటున్నాను కదా, మీరేం తెలుసుకోలేరండి. సో థర్డ్ ఈజ్ టెక్నాలజీ. టెక్నాలజీ ఈజ్ సెల్ఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేటరీ. ద బ్యూటీ ఆఫ్ దిస్ న్యూ ఏజ్ ఈజ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈజ్ సెల్ఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేటరీ. యూ డోంట్ నీడ్ టు గో టు సంబడీ టు లెర్న్. మీరు యూట్యూబ్లో కొట్టండి, హౌ టు యూజ్ నోట్బుక్ LM అని కొట్టండి, ఆడో వీడియోలు చూపెడతాడు. యూ వాంట్ టు యూజ్ ద నోట్బుక్ LM, గో టు గూగుల్, టైప్ ఇన్ సర్చ్ నోట్బుక్ LM అంటాడు. అంటే నువ్వు టైప్ చేస్తావు. సో నౌ యూ సీ ద విండో, యూ అప్లోడ్ దిస్ ఆర్టికల్, అని వాడు మంచిగా నీకు హాయిగా ఆడో విజువల్గా చూపెడతాడు. ఎవడైనా చిన్న పిల్లవాడు అరటి పండు ఒలిచి పెడతాడు. రైట్? So that's another thing, technology. Another important thing, no amount of knowledge will be relevant unless you perform. If I speak on కూచిపూడి డాన్స్ for 2 hours, అద్భుతంగా క్లాస్ చెప్పినుకోండి, మీరు వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు కూచిపూడి డాన్స్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్తారా? ఇంపాసిబుల్. అన్లెస్ గజ్జగట్టి డాన్స్ చేయాల్సిందే. సో నౌ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎన్ అడ్వాంటేజ్, యూ కెన్ స్టిల్ రైట్. మీకు 101 రిపోర్టర్స్ అని ఒక ప్లేస్ ఉంది. జస్ట్ టైప్ 101 రిపోర్టర్స్. ఎనీ యంగ్ రిపోర్టర్ కెన్ సెండ్ ఎ స్టోరీ ఐడియా టు దట్. ఈవెన్ దే విల్ provide editing facilities also. If you submit the story idea, if they like it, they will refer it to several websites. For a young fresher, you can simply write on that. Or else you can have your own blog and start writing. So, you don't need, did Dhruv Rati got training in any journalism school? He became Dhruv Rati at such a young age, am I right? So he became a sensation. 2024 elections, he was one of the men who was all talked about in the Hindu edit pages. So how did it happen? He is a man of technology, not even journalism. Stays somewhere in Germany, not all, Germany or Sweden? German, he doesn't even stay here. So why, when somebody else can become Dhruv Rati, you can become 10 times more than Dhruv Rati, am I right? So what is మీకు లేనిది ఏంటి, వాళ్ళకు ఉన్నది ఏంటండి? Dhruv Ratiకి ఉన్నది ఏంటి, మీకు లేదేంటి? Why Nageshwar? So you can become anybody, I'm telling you, provided have that kind of a perseverance. Don't be carried away by somebody. ఇది లేదు, అది లేదా, ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది, అక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది. ఈ నిత్య అసంతృప్తవాదులు మన చుట్టూ ఉంటారు. You are professional pessimists all around us. Don't believe them. Believe in your own self and start working. And next thing is read as much as you can. Learn as much as you can and as many diverse fields as you can. అంటే ఎన్ని రకాల వైవిధ్యభరితమైన అంశాలు చదవాలి. I'm not interested in sports. That is one area which I am not comfortable. Still I spoke on sports couple of times, but not much. Well, I'm not comfortable with the film. Still I made 80 videos on films also, interestingly. So except that too, I read everything from philosophy, from economics. I have interviewed Sri Tridandi Chinajiyar Swami. I interviewed Swami Stitikantananda, Swami Bodhamayananda of Ramakrishna Mission. I interviewed everybody. I interviewed software wizards. So nothing up. I love Telugu poetry. Even today I love Telugu literature. Telugu పద్యాలంటే ఇప్పటికీ పిచ్చి. ఈవెన్ టుడే. సో నాకు బాగా వర్క్ అయిన రోజు హాయిగా తెలుగు పద్యాలు పెట్టుకొని మీకు ప్రశాంతంగా నిద్రపోతూ గుర్రం జాషువా గబ్బిలం ఇంటూ విశ్వనరుణ్ణి నేను అంటే ఆనందంగా నిద్రపోతాను. ఐ లవ్ ఇట్. అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ ఏదో ఒక ఇంట్రెస్ట్ మనకు ఉండాలి. సో ఐ లవ్ లిటరేచర్. ఐ లవ్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ గుడ్ అట్ ఇంగ్లీష్ పోయట్రీ అట్లీస్ట్. అది లేదు, వస్తే మంచిగా ఉంటుంది. సంస్కృతిలో వస్తే అది రాదు, మరి ఏం చేద్దాం, వచ్చిన దానికి ఆనందపడదాం. రైట్. సో బీ బైలింగ్వల్. డోంట్ కన్ఫైన్ టు వన్ లాంగ్వేజ్. మీకు ఇంగ్లీష్ వస్తే తెలుగు నేర్చుకోండి, తెలుగు వస్తే ఇంగ్లీష్ నేర్చుకోండి. ఎందుకంటే ఫర్ తెలుగు జర్నలిస్ట్ ఆల్సో, వెదర్ యూ లైక్ ఇట్ ఆర్ నాట్, ద వరల్డ్ ఆఫ్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఈజ్ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్. అవునన్నా కాదన్నా? వెదర్ యూ లైక్ ఇట్ ఆర్ నాట్, దట్ ఇస్ వేర్ యూ గెట్ ద కంటెంట్ ఫ్రమ్. సుప్రీంకోర్టు జడ్జ్మెంట్ చదవాలి, తెలుగులో దొరకదు కదా. ఇప్పుడు వచ్చి ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేస్తోంది, కానీ ఆ ట్రాన్స్లేట్ కూడా ఒక్కొక్కసారి అటు ఇటు కూడా అవుతుంది. 100% అక్యురసీతో కూడా చేయదు. వెల్, రీజనబుల్లీ గుడ్ 80-90% అక్యురసీ వచ్చింది. బట్ నథింగ్, వాట్ ఎవర్ మే బి దట్ AI ట్రాన్స్లేటెడ్ వర్క్, ఇఫ్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ ద లాంగ్వేజ్ ఇన్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్, ఆ ఒరిజినల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ అర్థమైనంత ఎఫెక్టివ్ అయితే ఉండదు. అది ఇంపాసిబుల్. అందువల్ల రీడ్ యాజ్ మచ్, లెర్న్ ద లాంగ్వేజెస్ and develop interest in diverse things. Then learn the conceptual understanding. Don't go by superficiality. Don't just surf the net. For example, Israel-Palestine issue వచ్చింది. Read from the basics of that. 2000 years ago, what did happen to Roman Empire? What did happen to Ottoman Empire? How was the Palestine historic land got changed? And get into the fundamentals and from the basics. What will happen is, over a period of time, you develop a database in yourself. If something happens, you can simply speak on that. You simply speak on that. That becomes develop the conceptual understanding. Whether it is economics, politics, science, history, culture, develop the fundamentals and develop the conceptual understanding. These are some of the qualities. I can go on for quite some time, but I'm holding you at this point of time is not right, I think. Yeah.
Do you think that there will be an end to that Israel and this Palestinian issues? Why? Because hundreds, thousands of lives have been.
I'm not an astrologer to predict. Neither I can. When Joe Biden cannot predict, how can I?
Okay, sir.
Unless the Israel accepts the right of the Palestinian people to homeland unless the Palestinian and Arabs accept the Israel's right to exist. There is no solution to it.
So do you really think the journalist institutions are somehow restricted to publish every story because some go against politics?
Pardon? Can you repeat this question?
No, sir. Do you think that we cannot publish every story as reporter because that goes against politics? Some stories might go against politics and somehow we are restricted from the journalist institution itself that we cannot publish the story. Did that ever happen to you? And if yes, do you think it will end someday or will this continue?
Well, you're right. You have to operate in, especially when you're working for a newspaper or TV channel. You can't define and decide their policy. Am I right? I used to come on a regular basis in Republic and also in Times Now. Arnav Goswami, people will think that he's a very violent fellow, aggressive, a very nice human being. Only he becomes aggressive on the screen. I still remember I was with him for 2 days during Karnataka elections and 2 days during Northeast elections, both in his Bombay office and Delhi office. We were sitting after lunch like this. Sir, tell me, Professor, how many students you have? Then I was asking him, Anna, will you accept internship from my students? I was talking like that. Suddenly he said, Professor Nageshwar, he said. I was little shocked. Then I realized that life started. So he suddenly become wild. Just because the live has begun, I did not notice, he noticed it. So live started aggressive, violent. Well, that is his style, but very polite human being. I still remember at 11:15, when I was coming to my airport, being the head of the Republic TV, he came all the way to my car. He opened the door and said, Professor, thank you very much for coming. He doesn't need to be so humble, am I right? And especially person of my stature. Well, he's far above me. But that is certainly a good human being. Well, that is the style of journalism which I hate. Somebody may like it. So, problem with that Republic TV and Times Now, they were polarized channels. They want somebody who subscribes to BJP ideology or Congress ideology. Then I used to come on a daily basis, almost daily. You'll be surprised. If you come on Telugu television, nobody pays you. But if you are on English television, they pay you. For half an hour you are on television, you get 3,000. For Arnav Goswami's show, for no fault of your own, even if you speak for 30 seconds, you'll get 5,000. So there was time when I used to get a check of 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh, 2 lakhs also from these two channels. But over a period of time, they insisted that I cannot be independent, I cannot be neutral, I should voice the Congress voice. I said, nonsense, why should I support Congress? I don't support any party, I speak my mind. Because that is so polarized channel, they said, sorry sir, we cannot. I stopped going also. Well, that limitation is always there. When you work in any organization, especially an organization that deals with ideas, well, that limitation is always there. Initially, you may have to, especially when you're working. Well, fortunately, I'm not the right example because I have a profession, I have a job in the university, am I right? If no newspaper, if no TV channel, if any newspaper, any TV channel cannot bear me, still nothing happens to me. I have a university job, I have a fairly comfortable salary. All that was again only additional for me. So when I have the full meal, మిగతా అంతే ఉన్నది అది గప్చుప్లు దయవడాలంటి అది తిన్నా మంచిది తినకపోయినా మంచిది. ఇప్పుడు వెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ ద మీల్ సఫిషియంట్, మీల్ తర్వాత స్వీటు, అరటిపండు, పాను ఉంటే ఇంకా టేస్టీగా ఉంటుంది, ఉండకపోయినా మంచిది, ఏమవుతుంది? కానీ వెన్ యు ఆర్ వర్కింగ్ దట్ ఈస్ యువర్ బేసిక్ మీల్, am I right? You may have to be little more adaptive, but believe me, this is a market. Media operates in a marketplace. If you are talented, if not one, somebody else come for you. I was writing for the First Post, though it was owned by Ambani's. I wrote over 100 stories for the First Post. One fine morning, First Post completely changed its editorial character. It was not accepting any independent articles. I stopped writing for that. Then I started writing for News Minute, News 9, Wire, and now I'm writing for the Quint. So you have a democracy offers you diverse opportunity. Why do you worry? Only thing is, till you evolve, you have to be little bit careful, little bit cautious, little bit, I don't say over compromise, but you should work with some tact. You cannot, once you become an indispensable person for them, an organization cannot dispense you because you are so talented and so gifted, then they will also accept. Otherwise, you'll get job somewhere else. You should be prepared for that. What happened to Ravish Kumar? He was in NDTV right from the inception, I think. When Adani took over, he was dispensed with. Then he came out. He came out much before he was thrown out. I don't think Adani has thrown him out. He never. He himself came out and started my own YouTube channel. I can tell you, he may be earning 10 times what he was getting in NDTV. At least 10 times. So fortunate for him, Adani took over NDTV. If Adani did not take over NDTV, Ravish Kumar would have been in NDTV only. So he is earning 10 times more. He has his own channel now. So it's also like me. If I were not accommodated in any newspaper, if I were accommodated in some newspaper or TV channel, I would have perhaps started my own YouTube channel. Now that I have my own YouTube channel, jolly well, meerevaru pilavadu nenu em maatladukunta. There was time when I used to wait for a TV channel. I used to suggest him, "Are దీనిపైన మీరు డిబేట్ పెట్టండి మిత్రమా, ఫైనాన్స్ కమిషన్ మీద డిబేట్ పెట్టండి, స్టేట్స్ రిసోర్సెస్ అంటే సార్ ఎవరు చూస్తారు సార్ ఫైనాన్స్ కమిషన్, ఇజ్రాయిల్ పాలస్తీనా పెట్టండి అది ఎవరు చూస్తారు సార్ మన దగ్గర." ఇది ఒక పెద్ద ఛాలెంజ్ ఉండే. సో నౌ నీకు ఎవరు చూస్తారో నా సంబంధం. ఐ డోంట్ ఈవెన్ టాక్ టు ఎనీ టీవీ ఛానల్స్. వాళ్ళు పిలిస్తే తప్ప నేను పోను, వాళ్ళు పిలిచినా నేను పోను. కొన్నిసార్లు టాపిక్ నచ్చాలి, నేను ఒక్కనే ఉండాలి. ఐ స్టాప్ గోయింగ్ టు డిబేట్స్, వేస్టింగ్ మై టైం అని. అలా నలుగురు ఉంటాడు, ఎవడు ఏదో ఒకటి మాట్లాడతాడు, వాడు నన్ను తిట్టి పాపులర్ కావాలనుకుంటాడు. ఇవన్నీ ఎవడు భరిస్తాడు? సో ఐ స్టాప్ గోయింగ్. ఐ సెడ్ ఐ విల్ కమ్ టు ది టీవీ ఛానల్ ఓన్లీ ఇఫ్ యూ గివ్ మీ 1 hour. ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ½ an hour, ఐ స్పీక్ ఫ్రమ్ మై హోమ్. బట్ నేను ఒక్కనే ఉంటాను స్క్రీన్ పైన. మీ ఇష్టం అంటే పిల్లలు, లేకపోతే లేదు. ఆ వీడియో మళ్ళీ నాకు ఇవ్వాలి, నేను నా యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్ పెట్టుకుంటాను. ఈ కండిషన్స్ కొంతమంది ఒప్పుకోరు. ఇప్పుడు TV9 డజంట్ బిలీవ్ ఇన్ హ్యావింగ్ అ ప్రోగ్రామ్ విత్ ఓన్లీ 1 person. వాళ్ళకు లేఅవుట్ కావాలి, 2 మినిమం ఉండాలి ప్యానెల్లో. ఐ స్టాప్ గోయింగ్ టు TV9. చాలామంది ఇప్పుడు మానేస్తున్నారు, పిలిస్తే ధైర్యం చేయడం లేదు. అదేంటంటే అది ఓకే, యాంకర్ కూడా చేయాల్సిందే కదా. ఆమె టీచర్ కదా, ఆమె టీచర్ వెన్ ఐ ద క్లాస్ ఆల్సో ఆన్ ద లైవ్ కదా. చెప్పాలి కదా, అది దట్ ఇస్ ఆల్సో ఎ లెర్నింగ్ ప్రాసెస్. ఈ లవ్స్ దట్, ఈ లైక్ దట్. అండ్ ఆబ్వియస్లీ వాళ్ళు అంటే దట్ ఇస్ ద ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్ లెర్నింగ్ కదా. I believe that when I am speaking with an anchor should also learn. There are many anchors who learnt a lot. So there are many people like that. So obviously you are a teacher everywhere. Am I right? Kitchen lo kuda teacher, ma madam kuda chadu cheptuntaను నేను. So teacher is teacher anywhere. No screen paina unna bayita unna teacher. Your attributes will not change. Am I right? అంటే హెల్ప్ చేయకపోయినా చేస్తానని ఎందుకు చెప్తానయ్యా? ఏమవసరం, నాకేం పబ్లిక్ లేదు, చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఏది హెల్ప్ చేసేవాడిని అది చేస్తాను. ఇప్పుడు అది కూడా చేసే టైం ఉండలేదు. ఫార్చునేట్లీ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ మై ఫ్యామిలీ వర్క్ ఇస్ టేకెన్ కేర్ బై మై వైఫ్. షీ ఈజ్ అ వెల్ క్వాలిఫైడ్ పర్సన్. షీ ఈజ్ అ పోస్ట్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ ఇన్ జర్నలిజం, పోస్ట్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ ఇన్ పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ ఆల్సో. సో షీ టేక్స్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ మై పేరెంట్స్, షీ టేక్స్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ చిల్డ్రన్. Otherwise I wouldn't have come to this level, frankly speaking. Because when you are not when you are devoid of any home pressures, you can completely concentrate on what you want. So that's an advantage. So you should be fortunate enough to have that also. Yeah. Next, anything else? Good. I'm sure you will be hungry. I'm right. So really appreciate. University lo lunch kuda 4 go చేసారంటే పెద్ద త్యాగం ఇది. చిన్నపాటి భగత్ సింగ్ త్యాగంతో సమానం.
సార్ ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ వాళ్ళు గ్రూప్ ఫోటో తీసుకుంటారు. ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్
ఎండింగ్లో బ్యాలెన్స్ చేయాలి.
ఎండింగ్లో వాళ్ళకి